You might notice if there's some commentary that goes on. I like this, I don't like that. I should be different, I should be the same. Someday I'll get enlightened. Oh, if only I hadn't done that, then I would be like this. This person is like that. The world situation is like this. This is why I'm upset. We try to make sense of it all. The Buddha taught that it neither makes sense nor doesn't make sense. It just is. It just is. And to close this morning, I want to do a simple little practice. It's a loving kindness practice of a sort. And we would do it by ever so mindfully letting the eyes open and noticing that process of deciding and then opening. And then there are some, hang on if I can get this here, yes, good. Notice the mystery of seeing. Seeing and knowing it, what a trip. Seeing. And then notice that there are these little postage stamps with people in them. It's like a Harry Potter movie. And there's some lovely words by Ruth King, who wrote Mindful of Race. I'm going to repeat them a few times, maybe 10 times, maybe not that much. And I invite you to pick a person. And those of you that are have your cameras off, if you feel comfortable, turn them on. And it's to pick a person and then stay watching them, stay present with them as I say these words from Ruth King. If I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you wouldn't have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. Pick someone else. Pick someone you haven't noticed. If I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you wouldn't have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. Another person. Maybe someone you have an aversion for. I mean, it's funny how that happens, isn't it? But there's someone who looks like someone you used to dislike or you were once married to or something. Pick someone and then, if I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you wouldn't have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And another person. If I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And yet another. If I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And let's do it 2 more times. Pick another person. If I didn't belong to you, I wouldn't be here. If you didn't belong to me, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And one more person. And notice the thought. There's probably someone who is taking you as their meditation object right now. See if you can let that in. Of course, if we were in person, we could do this more intimately in a way, but this is the vehicle we have. If I didn't belong to you, I would not be here. If you did not belong to me, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And so let us experience the experience of metta. It's not something far away. We all know what it is. And with delight, I'd like to point out that my Dharma brother Frank has beamed in from Germany. Hello, Frank. Guten Morgen.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, late for you. Hi, Frank. How are you?
I'm fine. I was just resting on my sofa, and then all of a sudden I picked up my smartphone and dialed the Acceptiva number that I have always stored and jumped into your meeting right there. I mean, a spontaneous move.
Fantastic. Well, it's interesting. I think of you often, of course, because I have that beautiful cup of that you gave me that I drink from every morning. But this morning it was particularly vivid. I was thinking, gosh, I haven't seen Frank in a long time. So here you are.
Yes.
How wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, what a miracle these modern devices are. I mean, you think of me, I think of you. A few tips with the finger, and we can see each other, hear each other, tune into each other. This is really a miracle.
It is.
Yeah.
I had an experience. You may have noticed that I went very quiet for a while here. I had a complete crash of my computer, and I have a wonderful report. There was not a shred of irritation or anxiety. And it struck me. I don't know, I sometimes dive in too deep, too fast, and get in trouble, but that's how it is sometimes in life. We're here and then we're gone. And there's a great deal left unfinished, of course. sometime tomorrow I'm going to spend a little while with a very sick friend, and we're going to be getting her power of attorney for healthcare settled and a few other things. Because any day now, her system will crash. And so when the system booted up again, and I discovered you were all still here, which was great. I had forgotten to make Jim co-host this morning, so I thought, oh no, maybe the whole meeting crashed. But I came back and I was reborn. It's right here. I got to pick up right where I left off, sort of. So the announcements are all the same as yesterday. I'll be here till Monday morning. I'll be teaching, and then I'll be gone for almost 2 weeks. Different PIMC teachers will take over. I'll be at Hollyhock teaching. In the summer of 2022, I'll be with Frank, teaching a 5-day retreat at a retreat center that Ruth created in Germany. I'm looking forward to that. So, Jim, is there anything we really should announce? If we're responsible?
I was just looking at the list and it hasn't changed from last week. So, except that my Qigong thing was added, but I always take some time to invite you all. The 8th doesn't come up till the 18th.
Okay. Thanks. Perhaps by Monday I'll be able to give you an update on the fundraising. And if you haven't come across that, if that letter hasn't crossed your desk, I think it's on the website. Hard to keep track of all this stuff. As of this afternoon, the asbestos people will be, oh my God, they use a lot of plastic, those asbestos guys. Whew. Whole room covered in plastic. But anyway, the asbestos will be gone off the ceiling in the living room, and and we got the schedule for the building, and it looks as like we will be able to enter the building again as a community in early December. Jeez, it started with June and it's been pushed off. But anyway, there's actually a schedule now, a building schedule. So what's happening with you, friends? Have you any joys or sorrows or questions or great realizations or complaints about how slow the great realizations are? Any comments about the ordinary? I should put you on the spot some more, Frank. What have you got to say this morning?
Well, what have I got to say? Well, I was worried about America because I was reading an article that was very disturbing about the former president campaigning again. And I did not notice that for the last 4 months. So I thought his whole thing went sort of silent and dead, but obviously not. And I was just not aware of it. So that really frightened me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is what comes up just now.
It's very frightening.
Yeah. And so my compassion reaches out to you and all the people that I know, because I was so hoping that you could be more at ease after that 4 years period, which was so difficult. And then we were all celebrating when Joe Biden was elected. And I was so proud of your country that you managed the shift. And now I notice some fears coming up in me again, and that is not nice.
Mm.
So I'm just very happy that you are serving, and that through you and the whole Sangha, that so many good people, are working, seen and unseen, for a good change to come, and that gives me hope and trust.
Thank you, Frank. I think it's overcast here today. No sun. No. Interesting. It's been sunny for so long.
Robert, if I can riff a little bit off of what Frank said, it's as you know, I live in Richmond, Virginia, and just a couple of days ago, the huge Robert E. Lee statue, which is just a few blocks down the street, was just down the street from where I live, came down, and I've just had a huge shift living here, and what I've sort of adopted I think it's Achan Cha orientation. This country is like this. Frank talked about, we have Biden and we thought this was behind us, but this has been with us for almost the entirety of the country, really. And to think of us as a shining light on a hill, or as something other than a mixture of all of that stuff we're seeing right now. September 18th, there's going to be a huge rally in DC against the quote unquote political prisoners who are being sentenced as a result of the January 6th insurrection. I feel like the best we can do is be clear-eyed about the components of this country and then go from there, rather than to live in some delusion or wish or hope that now that we've done this, we're free of what we don't like. And it's been a real adjustment for me, as I say, living in Richmond, which is the center of so much that happened in this country. And I share Frank's sadness, but I feel a lot more clear-eyed than I ever did about, okay, this is who this country is. It's a multitude of the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And I don't know, it's calming a little bit to accept that.
Thanks. I find myself drawn to say how useful and important it is to notice the mechanism of anxiety. To create the way the mind creates images of how it is, or how it should be, or how it shouldn't be. And then there can come powerlessness or anger, or however it unfolds. And the Dharma is all about setting ourselves free from all of that. And then, in the circumstances where there's some action to take, we take action. But it's not rooted in the fear and anxiety that can happen if we're not awake. And there can be such like that Billy Collins poem this morning. Falling in love with the soap. Who would want to miss that? Or finding that dead mouse under the dining room table in his brown little coat. Who would want to miss that by being worried about world politics or national politics? So the practice brings us into the now, and then when you meet your friend or your lover, your beloved, or your dog or your cat, we actually get to meet because we're not lost in some fantasy of, oh, that reminds me, I used to be quite a news junkie. And it was years ago, thinking of with the Falklands War. You remember that particular catastrophe? And, the British were sailing off down the Atlantic and the music came on with the news and all that. And I went down to see Ruth, and the first thing I asked her was, what do you think about the war? And she said, what war? And I said, well, I explained a little bit. And she said, oh, darling, I don't pay any attention to that. They're always having a war somewhere. And she lived through World War II on the ground. I mean, she was captured by the Russians. And they're always having a war. And I just mind my business here at Dhammadina, and we're putting out the war by extinguishing greed, hatred, and ignorance. So I think there's something really important about that. Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. Well, I guess that's not true. Here's that Buddhist Robert. We are all going to die. We do know that. And that can be quite a relief. It's like, oh, phew, good. I was worried for a while. I'm laughing because I went to a baseball game with my daughter's wonderful boyfriend partner, and we had a great time. He's a lovely fellow, really fun, and he shared with my daughter that, well, yes, he did. I forget how she worded it, but yeah, he did let me know that I would die and my daughter would die and everyone would die at the baseball game. So, so I think I'm predictable. On my first date with this guy here, talking about that stuff. So I'll be quiet now. Bye, Jim. Anybody have anything else you'd like to share? Please.
Good morning, Robert.
It's David.
Hello, Robert. Good morning to you. And good morning to the Sangha. Before I'm just going to say something. There's a poem that I want to share with you. It's on the nature of being aware of the details in life. But before I do, I just want to wish you a really helpful and healthy upcoming retreat, Robert. I hope it goes well for you and for the group. So
Thank you.
wish I could be there, but I'm teaching, but I hope it goes well for all. So the poem is from Ezra Pound. It's short. It goes, and the days are not full enough, and the nights are not full enough, and life slips by like a field mouse, not shaking the grass. I'll say it again. And the days are not full enough, and the nights are not full enough, and life slips by like a field mouse, not shaking the grass. So I thought I would share that with the group. And
thank you.
Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Sangha. But really, one last thing, it's been so wonderful to sit with you for the past almost a year now. So lots of gratitude to you, Robert, and to the Sangha for welcoming me in. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Robert, this is Had.
Hello,
Just
Hadley.
again, I want to acknowledge you and thank you for coaching me in equanimity when my mind wants to stress about near-term human extinction, irreversible climate change, worst pandemic arising recently, especially with the Delta variant, and then bringing it home to a body that's getting older and changing, and peace with all that. Coaching in equanimity. That really does it.
Amen, brother. Is your body getting older?
It has started, yes. Since I was born.
Yeah.
And I must append my statement. Yesterday I made chocolate salted caramel cupcakes. So this is attempting for people that are not in the Portland area, but I will be selling them at Cerebellum's Bakery tomorrow. So come enjoy it to Cerebellum's Bakery in Multnomah Village.
And I can attest to the quality and deliciousness of the Cerebellum pastries.
Hi, Robert.
Hello, Eileen.
Hi. Actually, I've been on no video, which I don't usually do, because I'm getting ready for my flu shot. And so I'm making, for those who do get in shots, those who choose to, that I was told and heard that this year it's really important because of COVID, etc. I didn't hear the whole thing, to get the shot early, the injection early. So that's where I'm going in about 20 minutes. So I'm just passing that on to everybody. Thank you.
Goodbye, Janet. Thanks for checking in. Lovely to see you. Well, anybody sitting with something you'd like to share? I have to be relatively punctual today. I have a 10 o'clock on the other side of town. Oh, I could also announce this. 8 new doors arrived at PIMC last night at 8 o'clock. They're sitting in the courtyard, actually. the office doors downstairs, it turns out that they were only 2 feet 6 inches wide, and they had to be 3 feet wide. So now the doors have arrived, and now we have just we have $20,000 worth of construction to rebuild the door frames. So that's a good reason to remind you, be sure to make a contribution from the heart. All right. I'll be back on Monday, also Sunday morning at 10. May we all be awake in the meantime. So let's end with Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. You ready? May all beings receive all blessings. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bye, friends. Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Sangha.
Be well, be well, be well.
Yeah, well said, well said, well said.
I think I've got the inflection right.
Nice, very nice.
You go a little faster, I think, though.
Well, I speak
Be
fast.
well, be well, be well. Yeah.
Nicely done.
All right.
Be well. Have a good day, everyone.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Preparing for the
Blessings.
leap to hyperspace. Thank you all for coming. Here we go. Whoosh. Sorry for